Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and today's show is presented by Panda Supps. If anybody out there is looking for the best workout supplements, I personally recommend the protein. It's the best tasting protein on the market. And shout out to my guy from Panda. He hooked me up with an awesome code, F the Donkeys. That's going to be able to save y'all 42%. Why 42? Because we're going 4-2 after this week. So go to pandasupps.com and use code F the Donkeys. So here are my 5 keys to victory up against our division rival in the AFC West. And the way that I have these ranked is not really in any particular order. I'm just going to go from 1, and I'm going to go all the way down to number 5. At number 1 here, my first key to victory, I want to see this team rally behind Rich Bisaccia. You're going to hear, this is going to be his first game, you're going to hear Jon Gruden's name probably said 100 times during this football game. But you know what? Hearing Bisaccia say the words, I am the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, and how emotional he got, it made me emotional. There was a second there I was like, I got to check my pulse, and if you didn't get chills from it, you should have probably checked yours. Now, obviously, he's got big shoes to fill because, let's face it, you can say what you want about Gruden. He did do a lot for the Raiders being able to move to Las Vegas. So he started his coaching career in 1983 at Wayne State. This is his first chance at being a head coach. And he's been in the NFL since 2002, also a part of Gruden's regime. All I'm saying is I am really hoping that this team rallies behind this guy. And you've heard a lot of players say that Rich Bisaccia is an awesome freaking dude. Now, what I want you guys to do right now is hit the subscribe button. And I want you to join me for my Sunday watch party. We're going to do this thing. It's going to start about 15 minutes before kickoff. I'm going to be live for like over 4 hours breaking down the game, play-by-play, stats analysis. We're going to have one hell of a time. I'm going to be bringing you the energy that you guys like to get when you're in Las Vegas tailgating, when you're in Oakland. If anybody out there in Denver, hey, send me an extra beer jug. I'd love to see it. Bottom line is this. I want to bring you all that fun and energy, so make sure you hit that big red button that says subscribe. Let's go to my second key to victory here. The offensive line needs to step up. And right, everyone's going to be like, well, no duh. This one could have been left guard steps up, center steps up, right guard steps up, right tackle steps up. Because the only lineman that I have any confidence in right now is Kolton Miller. And I put this stat out on my Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365 earlier in the week that said, the Raiders are on pace to have the worst offensive line blocking grade, the worst run blocking offensive line grade ever. So PFF started recording run blocking grades back in 2006. I don't know what y'all were doing in 2006, but that was a long freaking time ago. Not only are they on pace to break it, they're on pace to absolutely shatter it. So all I'm going to say is this. You got to figure out a way to protect Derek Carr at all costs because Joey Bosa said it. He got absolutely worked this past week up against the Bears. Yes, you're going to see happy feet Carr once in a while. He does, but you know what? Most human beings would also get happy feet when they have no confidence whatsoever in their line. I get that Gruden wanted to be able to run the ball, but I'm really, really hoping that they lean on their passing game and they lean on trying to just figure out every way possible to protect Derek Carr, because if you do that, I think we're going to win this game here. So what do you about this, y'all? I mean, I saw us. This game keeps going up and up for Raiders being underdogs. The first time I saw the Raiders were 2.5-point underdogs. Then it went to 3, and now it's at 3.5, and the over-under in this one is set at 44.5. Now, the Raiders have won 4 out of their last 5 games up against the Broncos, so I want you guys to kind of think about who's going to win this game. And usually I'm like, all right, who you got? Well, how about this? I want you to go ahead and try to predict the score. And on today's video, I am also going to give you my score prediction. So just think about it. Let me know what you have to say. Las Vegas Raiders up against the Denver Donkeys. What do you think the score prediction is going to be? Now, speaking of those donkeys, F them. And I love Panda Supps. For those of you that don't know, I use Panda Supps all the time, and they did just get a new logo. If you want this t-shirt, you can also get it at pandasupps.com. But my man, Mayor Bot, he owns Panda Supps. He's a diehard fan, and I'm always like, dude, how can we get people to go ahead and try out these products? Because I'm a big believer. Once you try them, you're going to be absolutely hooked. So use code FTheDonkeys, or FDonkeys, to save 42%. That link is going to be available for you all in the comment section and the description down below. But if you're looking for new products like this Focus, I always tell people it's like legal Adderall. You take one scoop of this stuff and you're locked in, ready to go. Maybe you have trouble sleeping at night. Believe it or not, sleep is very important. You take one scoop of the Sleepy, you'll be good to go. Maybe you're trying to work out in the morning. I don't know, like you get up at 5 o'clock, you let out your dog Chuck, and you have trouble getting up. You take one scoop of the pre-workout, dude, you're in the gym, ready to go. But one of the most important products that people sometimes actually do not use is BCAAs and hydration. Has anybody ever been out to Las Vegas and you have a few beers in, you're like, man, I am super dehydrated. Take a scoop of this stuff and your dehydration is going to go away. Or after you're done working out, the BCAAs is like an amino building block. It's a chain reaction that helps rebuild your muscles. So imagine you get almost like twice the workout in one when you help your muscles rebuild themselves. Bottom line is this, go ahead, try their products. If anybody wants free protein, chatsports.com/free protein. Go ahead, try it out, because I'm telling you, once you try it, you're going to be hooked. Let's go to my third key here to victory up against the Denver Donkeys. Let Carr cook. And this might be my third straight week doing this. And one of my biggest issues that I had with Gruden was he didn't put the ball in his man's hands. And the man's hands is Derek Carr. I get it. He wanted to get Josh Jacobs going. I want to get Josh Jacobs going. I want to get the running game going. But when you have the worst offensive line in football right now, and Andre James in the worst center, you have Alex Leatherwood, who, I'll give him a shout out, did a little bit better at right guard, but put the ball in your best player on offense's hands, and that's Derek Carr, because I'd rather run through the air. What about a quick screen to Hunter Renfrow? How about an end around or something to Henry Ruggs? Get the ball in Waller, Brian Edwards' hands, and I get it. There were some drops last week, and that's absolutely on the receivers. But I am going to bet on Derek Carr and our passing game 100 times out of 100 before I sit here and say, you know what, maybe we should run it on first and second down. No, Greg Olson, draw up some pass plays and let Derek Carr cook. So how much is Carr going to be cooking this week up against the Broncos? The stigma for Carr is always he's bad in Denver and he can't beat the Broncos. Yet, they're 4-5 their last 5 games, which I know I've already mentioned. But Denver's also had some pretty impressive defenses in the past. This is also a good defensive unit. I'm going to go ahead and say if Derek can be somewhere around 290, if he can get in those 300 ranges, this is going to be a big-time win. But let me know, how many passing yards for DC? My fourth key, stopping the run. The Raiders have a top 10 defense right now. Not only in total yards per game, but they're one of the best teams in the league at stopping passing yards per game. I mean, guys, they're the 4th best team in the league right now in passing yards per game on the defensive side of the football. What team am I watching right now? The issue is stopping the run. And over the last 2 weeks, man, even 3 weeks, we've been getting gashed by Myles Gaskin, Khalil Herbert, Damian Williams. I'm trying to think of whoever the hell was the running backs in week 4. I mean, Austin Eckler's a good back. But at the same time, our defensive tackles need to wake the heck up. Now, sure, Jonathan Hankins has been battling an injury, but if you can't stop the run, if you can't win the battle of the trenches, that makes it a lot more difficult on your linebackers and on your secondary. Over the last 2 weeks combined, the Raiders have allowed 283 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. And for all you fantasy football freaks out there, I love fantasy. They've allowed 3 total touchdowns to running backs over the last 2 weeks, and right now they're bottom 5. So I would not surprise me if Denver tries to run it. So put an extra guy up there, figure it out. You got to win the battle of the trenches. And the other reason, Denver wants to be able to run the ball. They want to be able to do play action. They want to be able to run the ball, and that's going to set up their passing play. I want to make Teddy Bridgewater beat me. Not that I don't think that Bridgewater's a good quarterback. I would much rather that Drew Lock's in the game because you can almost lock in an interception. But Bridgewater is a safe guy. He doesn't really try to throw the ball down the field. He takes exactly what's given to him. But if you put him in a situation where he does have to try to beat you, that's where you can get some turnovers, and that's where I think the Raiders can get some short fields and end up winning this game. Now, guys, before I give you my last key to victory, if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. I posted also on IG this week my Jon Gruden replacements. I post stuff on my story all the time. The bottom line is if you need more content, you need more Raiders content, and I'm not giving you enough of it on YouTube and basically giving you 10 videos a week, sometimes 11 or 12. If you need more, it's all good. I got you covered. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Mitchell Renz 365. My last key to victory here. You got to force some turnovers. And you heard Yannick Ngakoue talk about it last week that, hey, we can get pressure. That's all good. but the defense has to do a better job of being able to force turnovers. And when I look at both of these teams, I actually think that they're pretty evenly matched from top to bottom. Sure, the Raiders have the advantage at the quarterback position, but I mean, when you look at these offensive numbers here, I actually think that they are very, very similar in the idea of total yards per game. Okay, it's close. Passing yards per game, the advantage is the Raiders, but that's because of the first 3 weeks. Rushing yards advantage. Broncos points per game, it's pretty close. And then giveaways, both of these teams matched at 4. So who is going to be able to be the team that can get more turnovers? Now, when you look at some of these defensive numbers here, you got total yards per game, passing yards per game, rush yards per game, points per game, and then takeaways. I really, truly believe the team that's able to force more takeaways, or the team that's able to not turn the ball over, and the team that has more short fields is going to be the team that comes away with a W today. And a lot of times people are like, oh, well, no crap, Mitch. The Broncos have a better defense. The Broncos have also played a lot worse of opponents, and when they've actually had to play people, they haven't been able to get it done. So what I want you guys to do again, y'all, let me know down in the comments who you think's going to win this game. Give me your score prediction. I know that I said that I'm going to go ahead and get a 23-21 win in there, but before I go, before we get the watch party started a little bit later on today, give me your one, or I shouldn't say one. If you want to give me one, cool. If you want to give me more than one, it's all about y'all. Give me one of your keys to victory if the Raiders want to go into Denver. If they want to take down one of their AFC West rivals, how can they do it? Give me one more key. So here are my 5 one more time, y'all. Rally behind Bisaccia. If you want to throw Bisaccia down in the comments, please go ahead and do it. I'm really pulling for that guy today. Offensive line sets needs to step up. Protect Carr. Start being able to run the football. Be a little bit tougher. Let Carr cook. I want to see him throw the ball a whole bunch, and I mean a whole bunch. Stop the run on the defense. Force some turnovers. If you do these 5 things right here, I can guarantee you one thing. It's going to be a win. So, just win, baby.